Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. My name is Utsaf Parekh and here are the top stories of the day. Russian missiles hit multiple regions of Ukraine yesterday. The death toll from the attack has reached 41. At least 166 others are injured across the country. Russia's rare daytime missile attack also struck a children's hospital in Kyiv and reduced it to rubble. A day of mourning is being observed in Ukraine after the missile strike. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has vowed to retaliate against Russia. He said Ukraine will start a meeting with the United Nations Security Council. The Russian bombardment included hypersonic missiles and was one of the deadliest that Ukraine has witnessed in months. Zelensky said that Russia targeted at least 5 cities in south and east Ukraine. Russia's defense ministry says it destroyed 38 Ukrainian drones. The drones were reportedly flying over regions near the Russian border. Russian officials say the drone attack killed one person and set some energy facilities on fire. The attack in Russia follows Moscow's deadly airstrike on Ukraine. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi met Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday. Putin gave Modi a tour of his country residence near Moscow. The two leaders held informal talks and also had a private dinner. The Indian Prime Minister is believed to have made a direct appeal to Putin to stop the Ukraine war. He said that no solution can be found in the battlefield. The US has raised concerns about India's growing ties with Moscow. This comes amid Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 2-day visit to Russia. A US State Department spokesperson called on the Indian PM to urge Russia to respect the UN Charter and Ukraine's sovereignty. Leaders of NATO member countries are gathering in Washington, D.C. for a 3-day summit. The summit marks the 75th anniversary of the US-led military alliance. The ongoing war in Ukraine is expected to be at the top of the agenda during the summit. US President Joe Biden is set to meet the UK's newly elected Prime Minister Keir Starmer. The British PM is travelling to Washington for the NATO summit. Biden will also host bilateral talks with Starmer. The two leaders will hold their first face-to-face talks tomorrow at the White House. India has begun the second round of talks with France to purchase the Rafale marine aircraft. India is planning to buy 26 jets for its aircraft carriers. Reports say that India is pushing France to lower its asking price for the fighter jets. The French are asking for more than $6 billion for the jets. Belarus and China started joint military drills yesterday. They were held just a few kilometers from the Polish border in the Belarusian city of Brest. The drills kicked off on the eve of NATO's 3-day summit. The exercise is named Falcon Assault and will go on till the 19th of July. Terrorists attacked an Indian Army convoy in the Kathua region of the Indian Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. 5 soldiers were killed and 6 were injured during the exchange of fire. The troops were patrolling a forest area when the terrorists ambushed them. Officials say the terrorists first threw a grenade and then started firing at the Indian soldiers. A court in Kenya has ruled that the killing of a Pakistani journalist in 2022 was unlawful. Arshad Sharif died in 2022 after the Kenyan police opened fire on his car at a roadblock outside Nairobi. The authorities claimed that it was a case of mistaken identity. However, the Kenyan court said that the use of deadly force during the encounter was arbitrary and illegal. Australia has appointed a special envoy to counter anti-Semitism in the country. Her name is Gillian Sagal. She will work with the Jewish community and discrimination experts to advise the Australian government. Sagal has been hired for 3 years. She will directly report to Australia's Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese. On to climate news. Tropical storm Beryl killed at least 3 people in southeast Texas in the US. Local authorities say that nearly 3 million homes and businesses have lost power across the state. The storm weakened after pounding the coastal town of Matagorda. Meanwhile, several counties in Texas remain under a flash flood warning. The death toll due to a landslide in the Indonesian island of Sulawesi has risen to 12. At least 18 people are still reportedly missing. Indonesia's disaster agency said the landslide caused extensive damage to houses and a bridge as well. The Indian city of Mumbai is bracing for more rainfall. Yesterday, hundreds of flights were delayed and transport services were hit due to the downpour. Authorities have issued an extreme rainfall warning for the day. Schools have been closed and exams in universities have been postponed amid the warning. Forecasters say that heavy rainfall is likely to continue till July 12th. A wildfire has burnt nearly 4,500 hectares of land in the U.S. state of Utah. The fire, named Silver King, broke out in Utah's Fish Lake National Forest. Evacuation orders have been issued due to the wildfire threatening nearby houses and infrastructure. Northern Mexico is sweltering under extreme heat waves. In the Mexican state of Baja California, temperatures have soared to as high as 50 degrees Celsius. Mexican citizens have been advised to avoid outdoor activities as much as possible. A heat wave warning has been issued for Canada's Calgary city. Extreme heat conditions are expected in the city till the end of this week. The temperature is expected to reach between 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. A heat stroke alert has been issued in Tokyo as temperatures soar above 35 degrees Celsius in Japan's capital. Local authorities have warned that the temperature will be higher than average this summer. On Sunday, at least 198 people were admitted to a hospital with suspected heat stroke. A severe drought in Sicily has nearly dried up Pergusa, the Mediterranean island's only natural lake. Lake Pergusa has suffered from months of below-average rainfall. The Italian government has declared a state of emergency over the crisis. Scientists have said that the lake has shrunk due to a lethal mix of hot weather and low rains. On to business and tech news. India is reportedly looking to relax some restrictions on the export of rice. India is the world's largest rice exporter. However, it has imposed several restrictions on rice shipments to other countries. This is to keep domestic prices under control. According to reports, the Indian government may remove a 20% tax on parboiled rice exports when new crops arrive at the market. The plane maker Boeing is reportedly in talks with the US Department of Defense. Boeing is discussing the impact of its planned guilty plea on US government contracts. Yesterday, it was announced that Boeing plans to plead guilty to criminal charges linked to its jet crashes that killed 346 people. However, the guilty plea might threaten the company's ability to secure contracts from the US government. Meanwhile, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration has ordered the inspection of 2,600 Boeing 737 aircraft. This is due to an issue with passenger oxygen masks installed in the jets. The FAA says the masks could fail to provide adequate oxygen during an emergency. Banking giant Citigroup is shutting down its operations in Haiti. The firm will surrender its banking license in the Caribbean nation. Citigroup has been operating in the country for over 5 decades. The bank has attributed lower international banking activity in the Caribbean nation for its move. American investment firm Bain Capital is reportedly nearing a deal to acquire financial software provider Envestnet. The deal is expected to be valued at $3.5 billion. The Pennsylvania-based Envestnet provides software to banks and investment advisors. Its clients include top American banks. Creditors of the bankrupt pharma company Purdue are looking to file a lawsuit against its owners, the Sackler family. They have submitted this request to a U.S. court. Purdue Pharma filed for bankruptcy in 2023 after being accused of fueling the opioid addiction crisis in the U.S. Last month, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected a bankruptcy settlement deal by Purdue. The deal had sought to protect members of the Sackler family over their role in the opioid crisis. Chinese electric vehicle giant BYD has signed a deal with Turkey to build a $1 billion plant. The plant will have the capacity to make 150,000 cars annually. Turkey says the plant will start operations by the end of 2025 and employ over 5,000 workers. Microsoft is planning to provide Apple devices to its employees in China. The move is part of the tech giant's plan to strengthen cybersecurity in the country. Microsoft wants all its Chinese staff to have its authentication apps. However, it is difficult for Android owners to download these apps as Google Play Store is unavailable in China. So all the China-based employees of Microsoft will be mandated to use Apple devices for work-related tasks starting this September. The share prices of chip-making equipment supplier ASML rose to a new high yesterday. ASML shares rose by over 0.4% to cross the $1,000 mark. The Dutch firm's shares have been rising amid the high demand for chips. So far this year, ASML's shares have surged by over 46%. German food delivery firm Delivery Hero says it may be fined by the European Union. Delivery Hero has been accused of violating competition laws by EU regulators. This comes after the firm's office was raided by EU officials back in 2023. Delivery Hero would likely face over $400 million in fines. Moving to sports, we start with cricket. Australia's David Warner has confirmed his international retirement. He took to Instagram yesterday to call curtains on his career. However, Warner said he could make a comeback if the Australian team needs him for the Champions Trophy in 2025. South Africa have named a 16-member squad for their Test series against the West Indies. Veteran batter Themba Bavuma will captain the team. Batter Matthew Breitske received his maiden Test call-up for the Proteas. The two-match Test series starts on the 7th of August in Trinidad and Tobago. Sanath Jayasuriya has been named the interim head coach of the Sri Lankan cricket team. Sri Lanka's cricket board announced the decision following Chris Silverwood's resignation. Jayasuriya will be guiding the team until Sri Lanka's tour of England concludes in September. He takes over just ahead of Sri Lanka's White Ball series against India. In football, Argentina's coach has announced that Lionel Messi will play in the Copa America semi-final. He said Messi will be fit to play despite the forward's hamstring injury concerns. Messi returned to action during Argentina's quarterfinals against Ecuador, where he was visibly struggling due to the injury. Argentina is set to play Canada in the semi-final tomorrow. German giants Bayern Munich have signed winger Michael Olise from Crystal Palace. The 5-year deal is worth over $64 million. Chelsea and Newcastle United had also shown interest for the 22-year-old. Olise has scored 10 goals and provided 6 assists in 19 appearances last season. In tennis, men's world number 2 Novak Djokovic stormed into the Wimbledon quarterfinals. The Serb defeated Denmark's Holger Rune 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 in straight sets. Djokovic's quarterfinal opponent is Australia's Alex de Minaur. Meanwhile, America's Taylor Fritz has also advanced to the quarterfinals of Wimbledon. He stunned two-time Grand Slam finalist Alexander Zverev of Germany. Fritz conquered his opponent after a 5-set thriller. The American was 2 sets down but rallied to topple Zverev 4-6, 6-7, 6-4, 7-6, 6-3. Fritz next faces Italy's Lorenzo Musetti. Women's world number 2 Coco Gauff has crashed out of Wimbledon. She was playing against her fellow American Emma Navarro in the round of 16. Navarro pulled off a stunning 6-4, 6-3 upset to knock Gauff out of the Grand Slam. In golf, Keegan Bradley has been named the captain of the US team for the 2025 Ryder Cup. He was approached after American pro golfer Tiger Woods turned down the captaincy. Bradley will be replacing Zach Johnson as the captain of the US team. The Ryder Cup is a biennial golf competition between teams from Europe and the US. The 45th edition of the contest will take place in New York in September. Two-time Olympic medalist PV Sindhu is India's female flag bearer for the upcoming Paris Olympics 2024. Table tennis ace Achanta Sharad Kamal will also be carrying the Indian flag along with her. This was announced by the Indian Olympic Association yesterday. The Paris Olympics begin on July 26th and will conclude on August 11th. In entertainment news, a sequel to the hit 2006 film The Devil Wears Prada is in the works. The movie's original screenwriter is in talks to pen this chapter as well. The film had featured Meryl Streep as a fashion magazine editor, with Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt as her assistants. Tom Cruise is interested in making a sequel of 2014's Edge of Tomorrow. The film's director said he's in touch with Cruise to discuss the long-planned sequel. The duo even watched the film together 2 months ago. The film was based on the novel All You Need Is Kill. Actors Rupert Grint and Afshan Azad reunited after 19 years. The duo posted their before and after pictures together. They both worked with each other in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire as Ron and Padma. Ron was supposed to dance with Padma at the ball, but he couldn't. The makers of The Serpent Queen released the trailer for its second season. The trailer shows the ruler of France going head-to-head with Queen Elizabeth I of England. The 8-episode series will feature Samantha Morton in the lead role. The story follows the life of the longest-serving rulers of France. Meanwhile, the trailer for Agatha All Along has been released. It is the spin-off of the hit Disney Plus series WandaVision. The trailer shows Agatha trying to hunt down a killer. The series appears to be a dark and horror-oriented Marvel project. Halle Berry and Glenn Close have been cast alongside Kim Kardashian. They will be seen in Ryan Murphy's upcoming legal drama, All's Fair. Their roles have been kept under wraps. The series will be about an all-female law firm in Los Angeles. Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum attended the premiere of Fly Me to the Moon. Tatum is seen as a NASA flight director, while Johansson is a marketing and advertising professional. She leads the production of a fake moon landing in case the NASA rocket doesn't pull off the real thing. Meanwhile, actors like Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgars-Jones and Anthony Ramos attended the premiere of Twisters in London. The film is a follow-up to the 1996 summer blockbuster Twisters. It hits theaters on 19th July. According to Nicolas Cage's retirement plans, he will do 3 or 4 more lead roles. It was in 2023 when Cage said in an interview that he's starting to cement his plans about retiring from acting. According to a French shoe shop owner, Elton John peed in a plastic bottle and asked his security to clean up. He wanted to use a restroom, but upon not finding one, he turned to a bottle. The shop owner couldn't believe what he saw. That's all for this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to Firstpost.